I done? No. That comes later.
We need a revolution!
For almost 20 years, I was that guy going to my local theater almost every other month to see the new Hollywood blockbuster. I have a movie collection of over 2,000 DVDs. Movies and comics were my life. Then in the mid-2010s, Marvel went full, all new, all different. It was Marvel's version of Disney's Reimagine Tomorrow. Or if you're a Democrat, Build Back Better. Or if you're an evil globalist set out to destroy the West, you'd call it the Great Replacement.
It's a very pertinent question to ask, how do we build back better?
To build back better or whatever.
We have a chance to reset the clock and build back better than before.
To build back better than before.
Remember the terrible damage of COVID as we try to build back from this global pandemic.
Joe Biden calls it Build Back Better.
Build back better.
Building back better.
To do things differently. To build back better.
We're going to build it back better.
And build it back better.
It's my plan to build back better.
Start taking all the problems that have been created in education and mental health and start to build back in a positive way.
I have launched a booklet called Build Back Better, written after coronavirus.
It's about building this country back better.
Growing conspiracy following it. It is called the Great Reset.
An unprecedented opportunity to rethink and reset the ways in which we live.
The great opportunity for reset.
The theory even calls Mr. Biden's campaign slogan, Build Back Better, a front for the conspiracy.
Build back better.
Building back better our economy.
Build back better.
All elements of the Great Reset are fundamental to building the future we need.
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset.
It's a big effort to, some would say, to build back better. We would say to really have a great reset.
Conspiracy.
I
see some need for a great reset.
Disney as a corporation was captured by the far left following the election of Barack Hussein Obama and infected with activists instructed to push a not-so-secret gay agenda.
I identify as like a biromantic asexual.
As a black person, as a black queer person, as a black queer and trans person, you know, to do the work of holding the company accountable means unpacking my own pain for somebody else to learn.
Last summer, we removed all of the gendered greetings in relationship to our lives fields. So we no longer say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We've provided training for all of our cast members in relationship to that. So now they know it's hello everyone or hello friends.
Like, I love Disney's content. I grew up watching, you know, all of the classics. They have been a huge, like, informative part of my life. But at the same time, like, I worked at small studios most of my career, and I'd heard, you know, you hear whispers. Like, I'd heard things like, oh, you know, they won't let you show this at a Disney show. And I'm like, okay. So I was a little, like, sus when I started. But then my experience was bafflingly the opposite of what I had heard. On my little pocket of, like, you know, Proud Family Disney TVA, the showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and, like, our leadership over there has been so welcoming to, like, my, like, not at all secret gay agenda. And so
all this content's going to kids who don't know any of this, and even if they're in a household like Keith that have supportive parents, they're still getting all of this information from media of what is normal.
I don't have to be afraid to, like, let's have these two characters kiss. Let's, in the background, like, I was just, wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to, like, if you see anything queer in the show, I'm Proud Family. But, like, I just was like, no one would stop me, and no one was trying to stop me.
And they've been really open to exploring queer stories. And so it's not just a numbers game of how many LGBTQ plus characters you have. We got the further, the more centered a story is on a character, the more nuanced you get into their story. And especially with like trans characters, you can't see if someone is trans. There's not one way to look trans. And so kind of the only way to have these like canonical trans characters, canonical asexual characters, canonical bisexual characters is to give them stories where they can like be their whole selves.
That nobody stopped us, and it felt great. And in part, I think nobody stopped us because we were, we were targeting Gen Z and millennials. We were targeting a younger, I think more open-minded, and now we know, as my son texted me this morning, Gen Z is 30 to 40% queer than the other generation's mom, so Disney better get with it.
Our leadership over there has been so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda.
As a means to target the developing minds of the next generation, brainwashing them into accepting far-left ideologies, Disney instructed Marvel to fall in line, and All New, All Different Marvel in 2015 was Marvel's role to play in advancing the left's cultural revolution, the global Great Reset. We all know the Democrats' two main voter bases have long been white liberal women, the black community, and following the election of Barack Hussein Obama, they've also emphasized the alphabet people, which fuels the left's war against straight white men, which they wage to destabilize our country. In regards to Marvel, Jane Foster replacing Thor was done for the feminists, and for the blacks, Marvel had Falcon replace Steve Rogers as the Black Captain African America. But the biggest power struggle has been Marvel's relentless push to replace Peter Parker with the Barack Hussein Obama-inspired Miles Morales. Mantle, 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 everything became a mantle. Every new comic book became a lecture. Endless DEI sermons, hypocritical feminist messaging, hypocritical black supremacy messaging, turning every character some new color of gay. I was out. People don't like to be preached at in their entertainment. As for the movies, I held out a little bit longer. The MCU was phenomenal entertainment. At least it was up through Avengers Infinity War, before the left's cultural revolution messaging took hold. When I go back and rewatch the MCU movies now, Thanos won. They forced Captain Marvel out for no other reason than Wonder Woman embarrassed Marvel in theaters. In Endgame, they used time travel as a plot device, which I find lazy and difficult to pull off. Instead of a vengeful god with nothing to lose, who fiercely protects the remaining Asgardians, they turned Thor into a fat bum.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Are you crying?
No.
Yes.
Oh, it can't get any worse, can it? Obviously it can.
They nerfed Hulk by merging him with Mark Ruffalo. Who knew all this time Banner's cure for the high levels of radiation exposure that turned him into the Hulk was high doses of soy? And that absurd girl boss scene that brought the entire movie to a halt just so they could bring all the female characters together was retarded. That all-time high went into Endgame feeling cratered throughout, and I left my local theater feeling confused and disappointed. But it wasn't until Disney's announcement for Phase 4 that I realized, oh no, they're going full steam ahead with All New, All Different. The MCU had arrived. I gave the first few Disney Plus shows a shot. WandaVision started out alright for its first few episodes, and we almost got Doctor Strange at the end, which we should have, but Kevin Feige sidelined him because he's a white guy. Falcon the Winter Soldier was pure BLM grievance slop. Loki was white male humiliation goy slop.
This isn't about you.
Right. You have the mindset and nature of a woman as a beta male, not an alpha male. Beta male, yes. Beta male. Beta. You're a beta male? You're a beta male. Not an alpha male. Beta. What a shame. Mommy's boy.
How about you? You're a prince. Must have been would-be princesses. Or perhaps another prince.
A bit of both.
Gay.
I skipped Black Widow and the Eternals, but I did go to theaters to see Shang-Chi, which gave us Katie.
What the fuck am I watching?
I have never hated a movie character more than Marvel's Katie. All of the shows on Disney Plus ended up just being bait and switches that the writers used to focus the stories on female variants, and Hawkeye was no different. The series' main focus was female Hawkeye, Timu Black Widow, and the final boss of DEI casting, a mute Indian woman who was missing a leg. Now I'll be honest, even with all that mentioned, I thought Hawkeye was the best Disney Plus show up to that point. At least until the end, when female Hawkeye casually beat Netflix's Kingpin. I lost my shit. I almost canceled my Disney Plus in the middle of that final fight scene. The only reason I did not is because at the time, I still wanted to see the Kenobi series. Then that first trailer for the Kenobi series dropped, and over half the trailer focused on some random fat black woman more than it did on Obi-Wan Kenobi. As soon as I was done watching that trailer, I canceled my Disney Plus. I've not had Disney Plus since, and I didn't watch the Kenobi series. At that point, I had seen enough of Disney's bait and switches, and I knew exactly how that show was going to play out. And from reviews that I had seen, I was right. It was another bait and switch about some random diverse female character that nobody is watching the Kenobi series for. I had already canceled my only other streaming service back in 2020 when I canceled my Netflix account because of that pedo normalization show called Cuties. So after canceling my Disney Plus, I was checked out on new streaming shows. The left's woke great replacement cultural revolution formula was showing up in every movie and every show. I was out there bobbing and weaving, picking my shots in between all the gay that was infecting everything and everywhere all at once. It was actually just a few days after canceling my Disney Plus account that I went to the theaters to watch The Batman. It was fine. I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It really fell off hard at the end, and one single annoying line has kept me from ever watching it again. A few months later, I went to see Top Gun Maverick with my dad. That was a really special moment. Not only because it was a sequel done right, showing the legacy character respect, but also because Top Gun is my father's all-time favorite movie. It was almost a year after that when I took my nephew to see the Mario movie. Then, it wasn't until the end of that year, 2023, that I went with my father and younger brother to see Godzilla Minus One opening weekend for my father's birthday. And I flippin' loved it. Best Godzilla movie I'd seen in years. The last movie I saw in theaters was 7 months later, in the summer of 2024. Deadpool and Wolverine. Be honest, I thought it was kinda mid. It had a few moments I liked, but I can't really say I liked it that much since I haven't watched it again since seeing it in theaters. But that's it. From being a regular at my local theater for 20 years, to just seeing 5 new movies in 4 years, and none within the last 2 years. Woke killed my love for movies. But, there is a new show on the horizon that makes me want to step in the culture war ring and fight the fight against the left's cultural revolution personally. You see, Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars. These are all franchises that I have enjoyed throughout my life, but none of them crack my top 3. For me, number 1 is and always has been Pokemon. Number 2, Dragon Ball Z. And number 3 is Harry Potter. And the casting of Black Snape pissed me off.
Fuck you. War.
So when the new HBO Harry Potter series comes out, I want to cover it. But if you've made it this far into the video, I'm sure you can tell I need a little practice on the mic first. So this past week, I did a thing. For the first time in 2 years, and only the 6th time in 4 years, I went back to my local theater. The same theater I was a regular at for over 20 years of my life. And I watched, in a completely empty theater, all by myself, on opening night, Supergirl. What have I done?